a very, very difficult decision, but there's been a couple of key things. I think I first got into tennis, and one of the main things that drove that was enjoying playing and enjoying the whole lifestyle of the kind of professional circuit. And over the last 6 months, that enjoyment for the kind of day-to-day training and activities and travelling and everything that comes with the lifestyle, the enjoyment hasn't been the same, and it's taken me far more effort than it has done in the past to get myself going on a daily basis. And I think with anybody, probably in any job, when they start having those types of feelings and doubts, I think it does provoke a lot of thinking, and maybe start thinking about moving on and doing something else. And the decision really has been driven by the fact that I now feel I have a huge amount of enthusiasm and energy to learning something new and putting my efforts into a new field, and using the skills that my tennis career and tennis life have given me really to apply it to something else now. And I feel like the time has come that I'm ready for that. And in terms of feelings, it's a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, tennis life always is a roller coaster, and it'd be silly for me to say that I'm not extremely sad about it, because I am. And I think in the months ahead I'm going to have times where I'll probably be even sadder than I am now, because it probably hasn't quite sunk in. But that once I kind of allow myself that emotion to kind of filter out, when I look at everything objectively, I think that this is both the right decision and the right time to make that decision. I mean, I certainly remember the first time that I played a live Davis Cup match for Great Britain and Argentina, and I remember, I mean, it was a bit of a baptism of fire. I played David Nalbandian, who was about number 6 in the world at the time. But having Great Britain on my back was something I always really, really loved, because it was so different from every other match that we played. It really did have a different feeling. Probably the two achievements I'll probably hold in the highest regard in my career will be qualifying for the Australian Open 2008, and then this year 2013. I think qualifying for a Grand Slam is probably one of the hardest things to do in the game, and that's something that I'll definitely remember for a while. And then always have to have a Wimbledon memory in there, and obviously the match last year against Roddick on court 1 with a kind of packed crowd against former world number 1, and the way I played was actually that's not only something that I'll remember forever. I think my whole family who came down to watch that's something they can kind of take away now that I've stopped playing. Everybody would have their own journey through tennis. I mean, I feel like I've had a particularly tough one with what I went through in 2008, when I was kind of really rising up the rankings, and I got this kind of freak illness which took me out of the game for quite a while. I think being able to restart my career and actually come back and hit my career high ranking after that is something which shows so much about the character. And actually, I think one of the main reasons I was able to do that was because of what I'd done within tennis from the age of 11, 12, and everything that I'd learned from then. I think that the type of characteristics to do with applying yourself, working hard, getting the most out of yourself, resilience, coming back from knocks, all those type of things which basically are happening to a tennis player on a daily basis within a match, are things that can be just invaluable into whatever career a player might choose to do after tennis. And I think probably the true measure of the value of what a player has learned, and in this case myself, will be how successful they are with their career after playing, because obviously you can't play tennis forever, and most people stop playing competitively at a relatively young age. It's always an interesting question that to do with learning, because obviously I haven't gone through the normal education routes, and I love having this debate with people who think that sport is not as good an education as say going to university and doing A-levels and that type of thing. And if anybody wants to have that argument, I'll do that with them for as long as I live if they want. But basically, my point is that I wouldn't actually change my educational path that I've had through being a professional athlete. I wouldn't swap that for doing that in any university. At the moment, I'm thinking that I'm a little bit worn out from the tennis world. I think tennis is always going to be my passion. I can't see myself ever stopping watching tennis and following everything that goes on. But at the moment, I think that I just have a massive thirst for learning a completely different subject, to go into a completely different field and work with different people and almost test myself. I'd say I put that argument about how valuable the lessons are from being an athlete and being a tennis player. It's almost like I want to test myself in another field, in another area, to see if what I'm saying is actually right. So that's what I'm thinking just now. But I guess as a long-term plan, I think if I can step away for however many years, it's hard to say at this point, but then maybe with a bit of business experience or some form of experience in something else, I think if I can then come back into sport or perhaps even into tennis, that I think I'll be in a stronger position. So I think that's my vision just now, but I guess who knows.